Hi, Lloyd. Little slow tonight, isn't it?
Hello and welcome to the final podcast, the last podcast you will ever listen to.
Welcome, spooky bitches. Your final bros are here. It's Brian Hotboy and Shane Big Homunculus Smith. And we are joined by my fabulous girlfriend, Hot Girl, aka Kaitlyn. Kaitlyn, we're happy to have you back.
Thank you. I've made it to 2023.
Congrats.
We haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's what was the last one you were on? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
What was it?
She remembers. Do you remember? I remember.
No.
Texas.
That was that long ago.
Yeah, that was back in May.
Whew. Yep.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back. And what a movie to have you back for.
It's a classic.
The Shining. Lot to talk about in this movie.
Lot to unpack. Lot to unravel.
So I was having this debate with Nick because we weren't 100% positive. Shelley Duvall. This movie made her go crazy? Or did she just go crazy?
Wait, she went crazy?
Well, not crazy. She kind of lost her mind. I think I had a mental illness, but a lot of people credit this movie and the way Stanley Kubric directed her.
Probably.
I feel like if Jack Nicholson didn't go crazy after this.
Jack Nicholson said this was the hardest movie he ever had to film.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
He did a really good job.
But like, he's done so many psychotic
And that's
roles.
the craziest part. So I read a thing, IMDb, of course, because that's where we get all of our facts from.
Yep.
That to get him in character to hate life, they fed him only cheese sandwiches, and he hates cheese sandwiches.
Perfect. Yes, that's why it's
torture.
tough. They want him to
That's
just
like
get mad.
giving you avocados.
He got
Yes, yeah.
No, but I despise. Did he despise cheese or?
Yeah, no, he hates it.
Yeah.
It was just cheese and bread, which he hates.
God.
That's like a form of torture.
It is.
Okay. You know what else is funny? His eyebrows are actually perfect for this movie. Like, they just make him look angry and creepy.
Well, he was working alongside a previous coworkers of his, Scatman Crothers, because they were both in one flu together.
They were. This movie, too, made me realize how he got cast for Joker in Batman. His smile.
Yeah.
It's like he literally looks like the Joker. Like, it makes me realize they didn't, like, edit anything in that movie.
He looks sinister even driving up to the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah, do you remember we were talking about how his son was asking him the questions about, what was that?
That smiling.
Yeah, it was that family that tribe ended up having to eat themselves.
Yes, the
Donner Party.
Donner
Yeah.
Party.
He's like, Danny, they ate each other.
But even then, like when Shelley Duvall, Wendy, is like, oh, don't talk to him about that. He's like, oh, it's okay, Mom, I saw it on the TV. And he's like, see, Wendy? He heard it on the TV. He talks through a smile. And I think that's what makes him so creepy. Like, it's such a forced smile.
I love the Departed line with Billy Cox. It's like this gnawing fucking rat.
This teething little rat.
I love it. He's so good.
He really is. It's crazy, too, because I was, like, curious, like, what other movies I could watch with him in that I haven't seen. He didn't do many movies.
As good as it gets. He won an Oscar.
Yeah, but I mean, like, besides, like, those big ones that we've all seen already, he's only being credited for, like, 70-something things.
He's just the guy that just does a movie and wins a quick Oscar.
He's kind of like, what's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. He probably has done even less.
Yeah.
It's probably significantly less. He doesn't do much.
Jack Nicholson hasn't been in a movie since 2010.
What's he doing?
He's old.
Just being retired. I mean, he's legitimately 85.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, that's true.
He's old.
So he retired at the age of 72, I think, which is a good age to retire, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn. I didn't actually think he was that old.
Yeah, he was born in 1937.
Wow.
In Neptune, New Jersey?
Yeah,
He was a Jersey
he's
boy?
from. I'm pretty sure he's.
Oh,
Jersey.
New Jersey's home to the best actors and actresses.
Yep.
Meryl Streep, him,
Thomas Edison,
Kevin Spacey.
The Jonas Brothers.
They're from Jersey?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. Continuing the streak of me learning things I never knew.
There you
Look at
go.
that. All right. So this is going to be a long one probably because it's a longer movie and there's a lot to talk about. So let's jump into the spooky pit.
Sounds good to me. Okay. The Shining. Released in 1980. The Overlook is getting a new caretaker and his family for the winter. However, in this hotel, the father turns sinister and his son has premonitions of both past and future events. This film was directed by one of my favorites, Stanley Kubrick, starring Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance, Shelley Duvall as Wendy Torrance, Danny Lloyd as Danny Torrance, and Scatman Crothers as Dick Halloran. That's the cast. Big homunculus.
Dick Halloran. Was he done different in the book?
I never read the book.
Because I loved his character, but the fact that all of it seems so pointless.
Yeah, he's... the one thing I hated about this movie, the only thing I think I hated about this movie, is when he comes back. Because basically, he has a shining moment to come... I call it a shining moment. to come back. I guess for Danny.
Yes.
But he basically gives himself up for fucking slaughter.
Yes, and that was my problem. That's like me, the one problem, like you, the one problem I have. It's like they built him up that he was actually going to do anything.
He brings the snowcat back.
I was going to say, if it wasn't for that, she wouldn't have been able to escape.
Yeah, so literally he is a plot device to get the vehicle back up there.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, one kind of...
I guess my problem, I really liked his character, but my problem where you're going with that, or like where you guys said he just built himself up to die, was that you would think if he had that shining moment, he wouldn't just walk in, like completely defenseless, like and basically announcing himself.
That was my only problem. He is like, movies are sometimes like multiple characters are heroes, but really there's only one that comes to the case.
Yes.
The boy was the one that was going to be the hero.
Yes.
But I feel like this guy just really didn't even try to live.
No, he walked into a dangerous situation and is like, anyone here?
But listen, is anybody in this motherfucking building?
That could have been his like final hurrah. Like he was old, you know, he really liked Doc. He really wanted to just save the day. I mean, what was his life? We saw him laying on a bed with nudie posters over him.
Great.
Watching the news with his bare ass feet. And that was his life.
It sounded kind of great. He was in Miami.
I literally love the line. Like, Shelley was like, well, how did you know that his name is Doc? Because we call him Doc. He's like, well, Bugs Bunny and shit. Right?
It's so... I love... His character is great
He's
there.
awesome. So funny.
All right. So, let's get into the meat and potatoes here. Jack is going into an interview at the Overlook Hotel with Mr. Ullman. Yes. I believe is his name. And Jack's getting interviewed to be the caretaker at a hotel from the months of November.
It's 5 months.
It's 5 months
May.
and ends in
Yeah.
May. So.
Yeah. So November to May. We learned that apparently Danny doesn't go to school anymore if he has to be in this hotel for that long.
Correct. He is homeschooled by his mother.
Well, yeah, because
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Danny's such a troublemaker. I mean, his dad had to discipline him because of that.
Any kid that talks to his finger deserves to be institutionalized.
It's so weird.
Hi, Brian.
Yeah, we're gonna point out my girlfriend's deformed finger.
Oh, I remember the first time it was pointed out to me. Yeah. Oh God.
Well, I have a finger. It's Tony, but when he talks, he just talks through my mouth, and I go away for a little bit.
My favorite part is like I feel like no doctor or psychiatrist when the kid is like, "Yeah, Tony lives in my mouth."
Yeah,
everything's fine. He's just a kid.
Well, that's what I said. I said if we have a kid and it starts talking with its finger, that's going to therapy right away. She accepted it. She's like, "Oh, how's Tony? Is he excited?"
Yeah,
bitch.
You should be able to do like orphanage trades.
Oh my God.
I'll trade you this for one orphan, please. A good one.
If our kid doesn't like animals, we're trading it.
Not one that's naughty. I want another one.
I want a good orphan. Well, the whole opening is actually weird because we learn about Tony and that, and then like part of Jack's interview is learning the history of the last caretaker who killed his family.
Yeah. He's like, well, the last caretaker killed his entire family, went mad with isolation.
It's like, you think you're up for it, bud?
It's like, yes.
Like, well, I drove all the way up to Denver, Colorado. I might as well take it.
It's like, I can't say no now. And then they're like, oh, he also killed himself with a shotgun afterwards. He's like, I think I'm still in.
It's like, I need to write this book.
Yeah.
He's a writer.
Yes, he is he's kind of a failed writer.
Yes.
Because he quit his teaching job to write, but technically hasn't wrote a book yet.
Well, he's the kind of guy that likes a big, catchy headline, and really that's it.
Yes. His book is called All Work and No Play Makes Jack a Dull Boy.
That's his book, his summary, and his conclusion.
It's the table of contents page, chapter names.
Like how it's done in different, like, it's done in different, like, indented paragraphs.
You put thought into it, Brian.
Yeah, I know.
He also has a lot of typos, if you were looking.
Yeah.
There's
a
an absurd amount of typos
How
in
many
there.
Jackos did you see?
Oh, man. So he just, like, he learns about the history of the hotel and stuff like that, and he's going to get this job. He gets it. And when we cut back, like, Danny is talking to Tony in the mirror, and Tony's just like, your dad's gonna get the job, you know.
You gotta call right now.
I like your Tony impression. He's a fucking chain smoker.
Actually, I feel like you should add some Godfather to it.
Well, you know.
You know, Tony. Your dad's gonna get a job he can't refuse. But let me show you the real problem. And then he sees an elevator filled with blood.
Yeah. Yeah, he starts getting the premonitions.
Blood elevator is probably the coolest thing in any movie.
Right? How cool is that?
It's such a cool
How
shot.
did they shot this? I guess they just moved open the elevator and they filled it
I
with blood?
assume what they did is they have a set where you could fill it from the top. So when the doors open, it just all comes out. It's so cool.
Yeah, it looks so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that shot.
Because even in certain of the shots, when you see the splash, you actually see it like stain the white on the wall. It's really
Danny's gonna start seeing these premonitions. They're future events, sometimes of a violent nature.
yes. Speaking of violent nature, we could talk about the doctor now. Because besides her accepting Tony, the mom's gonna be like, "Oh, how's school going?" And they're like, "Oh, we had to take him out of school because of his accident." And anytime a mother says an accident without just going right into it, it sounds sketch right away.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, well, you know, it's such a what's the word I'm looking for?"
I missed this whole part.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a little awkward.
Yeah, it's like she's like, I guess enabling the behavior or like
Dismissing?
dismissing it because she's like, you know, happens all the time. There's just this time, you know. Sometimes neurons and electrons, they scrape a little too hard. There's a little extra force. And she's like, he just yanked a little too hard. And she's like, he pulled his arm off.
Yeah.
She's a lot of
simple as that.
dismissive behavior,
Yes.
though. He's basically calling. He's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And she's like, "Okay."
Just a loose factoid about the Overlook Hotel. It was built on an ancient Native American burial ground.
Does Stephen King do that in all his books?
Yes.
Does every book come back to the Native American burial ground?
Yeah.
Was Christine's car built on an ancient
Cujo.
Yeah, it's just a dog buried there.
Dog corpse. Native American dog.
Obviously, Pet Cemetery.
Yeah. He didn't do Poltergeist, right? No, he didn't do
No,
that.
I think Poltergeist was an original idea by what's his face?
Also on
Was it Toby Who?
Yeah, it was.
It was Toby Hooper, right? Who did?
1000%, yeah.
Who
My
did?
question is, how many ancient Indian burial grounds are there?
Oh, there's so many. Have you ever been to Idaho?
I feel like they gotta be everywhere because if this place was populated with Native Americans, there'll be a bunch of Native American burial grounds.
Yeah.
Speaking of Native American burial grounds, there's a lot of good Native American horror movies that we could tap into. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Bone Tomahawk is awesome. I love that movie. It is brutal because Native Americans scalp fuckers.
Ooh.
It's scary.
The Indian in the Cupboard.
That is
Classic.
the best movie ever.
Classic
It's
film.
great. It's the only. What other Indian movies are there? Native American.
Pocahontas.
You know that's going to get a horror remake soon. I already heard about the Bambi horror remake they want to make.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's like, I think the premise was, I forgot if we talked about this, that Bambi sees its mother killed by the hunters,
Yes.
and then Bambi goes to get revenge on the hunters.
I am all for
She's
this.
gonna love this movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm pretty sure that's the plot.
Arm
summary.
the animals.
So-
Let's go.
You guys have fun watching that one if it happens.
That's fine. That's one movie. We watch dogs die all the time.
True, we just saw The Conjuring.
Yeah, and on this podcast, I will promise you, like, and it's not even sometimes it's a fault of our own. The dogs just enter the Necronomicon.
Yeah.
Like The Conjuring.
We had no choice.
I actually can't ruin the movie for you.
No.
But we had no choice other than
Is it a brutal death?
No. It just show they
It's
just
off-
actually go outside
it's
and
off-
the dog is dead.
it's off screen. Yeah.
I told him I have this thing. I want to watch the Conjuring and Insidious movies, but I'm so afraid. So it's going to have to be like night where he can like sleep over multiple nights.
Yeah, maybe.
Multiple nights.
Multiple.
I mean, if it wasn't for that scene in the bedroom of The Conjuring, I think that's totally watchable without being scared. But that one scene in the bedroom, maybe
It's
a
very
little
creepy
bit,
with
yeah.
the woman on top of the cat. Yeah.
Is it just because? Which movie is it where once you see the face, it's not? That
Oh no,
scary?
that's Insidious.
That's
but
Insidious.
I legitimately think
But
Insidious.
the problem
really creepy.
is you don't see the face till like an hour 15 into the movie, so
Yeah.
you got an hour 15 where you'll be terrified.
Yeah, no, the movie's
Why
actually,
gotta watch Sinister?
that's even scarier.
The problem is with me is he can tell you right now I'm so jumpy. Like we were playing the video game until dawn. I jumped like 100 times. I was like, he's gonna pop out. He's gonna pop out, and he does. And I still scream.
Yep.
And then I also have like these like vivid dreams every night without watching horror movies.
But a movie like The Shining, it's different.
It doesn't bother me.
But see, this is the movie that I find scary. It's the imagery. It's the subtle imagery of what's happening and the mystery behind, like, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
And he doesn't tell you ever. You got to deduce. It's like
Yeah.
watching fucking Twin Peaks.
So, which we'll cover. All right. So let's get to the hotel. Jack brings Wendy and he brings Danny to the hotel. They get a tour of the hotel. Danny's playing some darts. When he starts to see these like twins,
Yeah, these young twin
he gets
kids.
these twins images.
They're holding hands. They're wearing blue outfits.
Very creepy.
I'm sure they're alive.
Oh, definitely. We learn about the hedge maze. How like don't go in it unless you have a free hour. You'll get lost in it forever. Which that hedge maze is legit because I think at one point Jack sees like an
model.
over.
Yeah, it's insane.
Do you like if you send guests in there, they're not coming out for
They're
a
not
day.
coming out.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, you need like a roadmap.
Yeah.
Well, the ghost of Cedric Diggory's in there getting people out.
Oh my god. Good Harry Potter reference. So this is also where we learn about the Indian burial ground. Now we're gonna meet Dick Halloran. He's going to call Andy Doc. Very strange. How he knows his nickname.
Shelley calls him out on that.
Yeah.
Well, you look like a doc. Good enough for me.
But they do right away give us that, like, because Dick starts talking to Danny in his mind, like, almost instantly. He's like, you want some ice cream, Doc? Which is either a nice guy or a pedophile.
Correct. So there's some telepathy at play here. So obviously pedophilia.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, this is I do love Scatman. Like I love his character in here, and like they do eventually go off, and he's gonna get him the ice cream. So this is where they have that one-on-one where they just don't even. They go right into shining. They just shine it up, Shane. They just shine the lamp.
You're giving me Jack Nicholson vibes right now.
Sorry.
Whether you hear me typing, whether you hear me don't typing, when I'm in here, it means I'm working. So you stay the fuck out.
She's like, okay.
I love what he does with his teeth. His tongue and teeth work.
It's his tongue. It's the tongue.
Impeccable. He's like,
His tongue.
I love
work.
it.
Fantastic tongue work in this movie. The tongue should have won an Oscar.
The eyebrows. Look at that. Look at that.
But you know what it is? I don't know if he's actually positioning his eyebrows or if Jack Nicholson's eyebrows are
like
just
that.
stuck like that.
no, he's just super talented.
You think?
Sorry.
Yeah. And you know who's really good at that? And I'm gonna say it,
The Rock.
Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah, Jim Carrey.
Smile creepy. Smile creepy. There he is. Look at the camera. Jack Nicholson.
It's the best Jack Nicholson impression I've ever seen. But Jim Carrey does have really good like eyebrow work.
Yeah, he's
It's
got
just
great face
incredible.
work.
You know who else has good eyebrow work?
The Rock. Exactly.
Well, no, someone else we just talked about on the podcast recently. Ricky from Silent Night, Deadly Night.
that's right. That fucker. Great eyebrow work.
His eyebrow work is phenomenal.
There is. We didn't even mention it on that episode, and I don't want to get too off track, but
Us get off track
there is an eyebrow moving counter
for that.
in the IMDb trivia for him.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
It's got to be a lot.
it is. Yeah,
I've never been able to move my eyebrows.
I used to be able to do the people's eyebrow.
Like where you can just like move it the one like that.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. I kind of just feel like I'm making my face look dumb.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to avoid doing that on
Anywho.
camera. All right. So we're going to cut to a month later after all this stuff. Oh, important plot before we cut to a month later. Dick says, all the things about The Shining. He's like, you have telepathic powers,
Yes.
blah, 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 blah. The main thing, actually most important thing, he's like, never go into room 237.
Yep.
He's like, there's a whore in there, and you stay out of that room.
Big
Well,
mystery.
no, I hate that. I told him this. He's like, he just says, "Don't go in." And as a kid, you'd want to go in.
Yeah, well, your curiosity is going to get the best of you.
You just don't mention it. You'd never go in.
Just tell me why. Just tell me why.
Like, tell me there's a decaying woman in the
and I'll
bathtub.
steer clear.
Yep, same. Not going in there. Don't need to see that. But that's a big part of the movie. That kind of kicks off most of like everything. That woman.
Yeah, well, I mean, that doesn't even happen. That really doesn't even happen too far from now.
No.
One thing I was telling Kaitlyn that's really brilliant about this movie, and I know Kubrick did a good job, is that this is really, the movie's in the perspective of Danny for the most part.
100%.
Like, you don't even see the development and the transformation of him going mad. He just is mad, and you're watching it as an external party,
Yes.
and you're just like, it's just happening, and you're not seeing him develop into it.
So that's the
It's
thing.
so different.
It almost seems like from the second they get into the hotel, from the interview portion,
Yes.
he's starting his descent into
Already.
being crazy. Because like, either this was just him all along, or just the second he was in the hotel, he was crazy.
I don't think that there is development, and that's why
Well, that's what we were talking
I
about.
think the second he's there, he gets possessed.
yes.
Well, that and I won't say it yet. I'll save my piece for after. But after we finish the movie,
Mm-hmm.
we looked something up, and it really like kind of solidified our theory about this.
Okay.
So,
There is a ton of theories
so
on
many.
the ending of this movie.
but we found one we really
we
liked.
Yeah, I think that one's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we will get into that. So we're at the hotel. They're doing your typical hotel things.
130 times.
Danny and for the eyebrow raise. Damn. Wendy and Danny go through the hedge maze where they do a cool shot here where Jack is looking at the model of the hedge maze and actually sees them in the model walking around.
They walk through it, baby. They have to. Walk through it a lot.
Then it like you said, it goes right into the scene where Jack is typing, and Wendy walks in to ask him a sandwich, and he's like, "Whether you hear me typing, whether you hear me don't typing, when I'm in this room, you stay the fuck out, okay?"
Yeah, so like obviously as a writer, you
You
got
need the eyebrows.
Yeah, if I could work the eyebrows.
Like, if you're writing a research paper and you're in a rhythm, you don't want anybody bothering you.
No,
No.
it's
That-
true.
That's just the
But
truth.
you could just be a little fucking nicer about
But
it.
she's your wife, and he was a fucking total asshole. Let's be honest.
She's so nice.
Look, and I'll be honest with you, I am the furthest person to say that you should not be getting mad at women. If she gave me that, I would just shove that in her. I wouldn't have done it in that bad of a tone. I would just throw it elsewhere.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have yelled at her and called her names and
I think the problem was you're allowed to get mad. That just seemed like a quick, like, give someone a warning kind of thing. Like, hey, just, when I'm in here, just leave me alone. Let me do my work
and if
kind
she
of thing.
kept going,
Then you could get angry. But it kind of seemed like a first-time offense, which seemed kind of harsh for a first-time offense.
anger issues.
Yeah.
well, I mean, yeah, he's already just like he's not himself.
It probably doesn't help that he's been sober for so long.
It's so sober.
And you find out he's miserable about it.
Yeah, he's a fucking big time alkie.
He needs some hair of the dog.
Oh yeah. Well, Lloyd will serve him up something soon.
Question. Maybe one of you can answer. What does that expression even mean?
Oh, hair of the dog that bit me.
Yes.
It's I don't know.
Okay. I honestly thought I was getting an answer for a
I'm looking
second.
it up. I'm looking it up.
Do you have any idea?
Hair of the
Because I've heard it before.
a little hair
It's
of the
almost
dog.
like getting maybe it's like revenge. Like,
Oh, really?
Let me serve up that. I don't know, hold on.
I thought it meant like you got so drunk last night and you're just doing it again.
Just
A little more hair of the dog.
dog
A
that-
little hair of the dog.
oh, okay. Because
Like
like,
you're-
the dog bit you and it was a bad night, even though you got drunk, but you're doing
this
it
doesn't
again.
this doesn't make sense, but it says hair of the dog, short for hair of the dog that bit you, is an expression in the English language predominantly used to refer to alcohol that is consumed with the aim of lessening the effects of a hangover.
Oh, like
Interesting. you just
wait,
keep
wait,
drinking?
what is that? Isn't that from It's Always Sunny where they have to keep drinking
so they
to-
don't feel the
no,
hangover?
yes. It's not. It's workaholics. They're
Oh,
like the
yeah,
only way
yeah.
to cure a hangover is to keep drinking.
Yeah, so and then I'm on Urban Dictionary. It says any alcoholic beverage, the consumption of which is supposed to clear up one's hangover from previous drinking, but will tend to have the opposite effect in reality. You just keep on
I
drinking.
get it. It's-
Yeah, because you can't be hungover if you're still drunk.
But who sits there just like, a little hair of the dog? Someone could have said anything.
Just give me another drink.
Yeah, it's just Jack Nicholson being Jack
Oh,
Nicholson.
I get it, because he just wants the same exact drink. So like hair of the dog that
the bit me is the same thing
drink
from
like-
last night.
Yep, that's it.
And which makes sense because he says it the second time after he's already had the bottle
Yup.
of bourbon.
we figured it
We
out.
did it. Way to
Cracked
go,
the case.
squad. So Danny's going to ride his tricycle around, right? Gotta get us right back into it.
Yeah, and obviously this is just like, you see like, I mean, there's like some Native American patterns on the floor,
Yeah.
but like it's very Kubrick.
I need to throw this out here now. We don't always go into it, but the sound design of the tricycle
It's-
going
yeah.
over the carpet onto the hardwood, going onto the
great.
carpet onto the hardwood is such an atmosphere setter. It was fantastic.
That was one thing I said to Brian right away. I said the one thing I love about this movie is the sounds.
Well, it's all droning.
It's just all that creepy music.
They go with this whole thing of like isolation, but I don't think isolation is a damn thing to play with the movie whatsoever.
No, it's just that the hotel is
Yeah.
haunted.
5 months of peace sounds really nice.
It does. It does. Just away, doing your own thing.
Carving up your family.
Yeah. It's great.
Kitchen full of food.
Hair of the dog.
Here are the
As he's riding his tricycle, though, he does run into the twins.
Yeah.
And
And
they're
I
like-
think this is where he gets the premonition of them dead on the floor.
Yes, you see
Covered in blood.
just 2 dead girls covered in blood, and they're like, "Come play with us forever."
Just a fucking another night at Rutgers for you.
and- Dead on the floor?
No.
Doing twins?
Walking over dead twins.
Oh, God, that's even darker. No, I don't think I've ever done that one at Rutgers.
Okay.
Had a fat sandwich once. Does that
Nice.
count?
those are amazing.
All right, so Danny is gonna he walks into his dad's room and talks to him in a scene.
Yeah.
And it's just
I remember
like a
that scene.
normal talk.
Father-son talk.
But it's not, because
The way he talks
he
about
talks to him. It's also fake because he's smiling, but his conversation doesn't match his smile
Or his eyes.
Yes, like Jack Nicholson is so scary.
He's Don, but like he's just trying to have the pleasant conversation while he's just fucking trolling.
Yeah,
He's literally just gone trying to have a conversation, father to son.
and then it gets even worse because you cut to a scene where Jack's like moaning and groaning in his room. In the typing room, I guess we'll call
Yeah.
it. And his wife comes to him and she's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "I had the most horrible dream." He's like, "I killed all of you."
It chops you up in little bits.
So like, don't give the
It's
detail
the
there
worst dream ever.
because she's scared.
Yeah.
She does a very good job of also her smile is different than his. His smile is like eerie and scary and off-putting, where her smile is you could tell it's a smile through like sadness and like fear almost.
Yeah, I guess I have another question about this movie that I don't think is really brought up. Like, there is no timetable, or I guess but by the time he's there, he could do it because he likes to scare them first, I guess. But there's no like sentiment of like you have to do this by this time. You just got to do it at
In
some
general.
point. Because Grady, when he was on the conversation with Grady's basically like, you don't have the stomach for this.
Yeah.
Like, but I guess because he has to do it within the 5 months. But there's no like real set parameters on him killing.
No, it just has to happen before the
Yeah.
5 months are up apparently. So yeah, it's like even his job, there's no like set. They're just like I guess check the boiler occasionally.
He made it seem like he had so much to do.
He doesn't do anything. The
No.
wife takes care of the house. He sits there and
She's
types.
also doing everything. Like she had that clipboard at one point. She's taking care of the boiler stuff.
She does the job. It's essentially her job while he writes a shitty book.
Yeah.
It's catchy though. It's very catchy.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
So confusing.
That scene is so good. So while like this whole dream thing was happening with him, we actually saw Danny riding his trike again, and he goes into room 237.
because the door was open.
Yep. But we don't see what happened in there. He just comes back to them, and he has this giant handprint on his neck.
You know what else is creepy about that scene? They definitely that old lady thing threw the ball, because that was a scene that the
Yes.
ball gets thrown. He's like, "Where'd that come from, Mom? Is that you?" And then he sees the door open. So she lured him in.
Oh, yeah.
Sick bastard.
Yeah.
I haven't read The Shining, the book either, but now I'm gonna. We looked it up because it was driving me crazy. I was like, who are these people? And apparently in the book, they're explained better that the old lady, that turns into an old lady, her name is Lorraine, and she's a former hotel guest. And she would, she would seduce the bellboys.
Okay.
And she was like a little bit of a whore. And then I guess she got so guilty with herself, she slit her wrists in the bathtub.
Oh.
There's like a 13 Ghosts situation where they give you no context on the guests
Yeah.
there. But the
Well,
book
that's
has
the thing.
everything.
Everything's just scary for the sake of being scary.
Yeah.
There's no context given to it.
I don't think they want that to
but
be
that's
a
what
point
I
of
don't
the
think.
movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. With this, it wasn't.
Definitely, because when I've seen this movie 100 times, I always thought that room in particular, which it still might be, I don't know if it explains in the book, 237 was the room that they maybe stayed in, the old caretaker,
Yeah.
and he killed, and I thought maybe that was his wife or something. I always thought that was what was haunting them. but apparently not.
No. So in context of the book, it was just a woman who lured bellboys in and seduced them. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's got this large handprint around his neck, and the wife thinks that Jack did it.
Which makes
Naturally.
no sense.
It makes no sense because Jack had that heartfelt scene before where Jack's like, I would never hurt you and your mother, because that was the concern he had.
I was actually just more so thinking of it in terms of actually how the film is framed, where it's like, as a viewer, where would Jack have had the time to do? But even for her, like, if Jack's been in that room, like, I don't know how she would. I know, I get it, because Jack has hurt him before, so her mind would go there. But like,
But there's supposed to be no one else
there.
Exactly.
That's true.
So think about it. And
Yeah,
he's
that's true.
already gotten pretty angry, and then he just literally told her, "I dreamt that I,
You're right.
And he never said. He said, "I won't hurt you guys," but he never said he won't kill them.
That's a great point. It's a great point.
No, yeah, he said when the boy
I'm not
asked.
gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in.
Yeah, when the boy asked, "You're not gonna hurt me and mommy, are you?" And he goes, "No, I wouldn't," in that creepy voice while he's smiling.
So eerie.
I would never hurt you.
So Jack is upset, right, about all this going on. So Jack
He's just like,
yeah. So he's gonna make that exact face and go sit at the bar, and then he's like, "So what are we having, Lloyd?" I wish there was something that explained why Jack is just so accepting of Lloyd being there.
"Oh, I don't. Our theory will put that into perspective."
Yeah. Well, should we just say it now? No.
Well,
wherever you think it's appropriate to throw it
it'll
out
be
there.
appropriate in the bathroom scene when Grady's on.
Okay, so we'll wait. We'll save it.
Because I have my own theories to this as well, so it would be fun to go into it. See if we have the same theory.
Sure.
I just like, because he is instantly right here. He's like, hey, Lloyd, women can't live with them, can't live without them. That classic, like, old line people you see.
He sees everybody. Like, it's a fucking soiree. It's a hootenanny.
Yeah. Wait, not yet. I don't think it's it. This is the first one where it's just him and Lloyd.
This is before he says the
because he's looking for a bartender, and then Lloyd's there.
Yes. Because then Lloyd gives him the bottle of bourbon, and this is the first time they're talking.
Yeah.
And because this is where he goes on, he's like, "I love that boy. I would never hurt him." Yeah, I did once, but that was an accident. Neurons, electrons.
Yeah, he was an alcoholic and abusive father.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I pulled his arm out of his socket, but it could happen to anyone.
That's the excuse. It could have happened to anyone. A little too much extra force.
Bitch won't let me live it down.
She'll hold that against me until the day I die.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you rip someone's arm out of their socket.
Yeah, it's just like, that's a lot of force. I know it's a small kid.
The kid was probably pushing back, and he probably just pulled.
Yeah,
real quick
I still got it. That's a lot of force.
Separated her shoulder.
So Jack's going to go to room 237, though.
Yeah, why not?
Time to do a little investigative work. He sees what everyone wants to see when they go into room 237, a naked, beautiful woman in a bathtub.
Sure.
Now, he's very accepting of this.
Of course.
He's very willing to just not acknowledge he has a wife anymore.
Nope.
Correct.
Because she's going to get out of the bathtub, and they're just going to do a little smooch.
A little smooch.
Quick little smooch.
That's it. Innocent.
And I wouldn't call it innocent. But it's a quick little smooch.
How's the mirror look?
Mirror ain't looking too good. She's starting to look like Dodo from Incantation.
Oh my God! Just a flesh bag.
A flesh bag.
A corroding flesh bag. What do you think that is? You think it's just because of the history, or just because she's old and getting sorry for the water?
I think she's been. Her body's
like
just
decaying from the water. Yeah, because they're like, if you stay in water too long, your body starts to just absorb it and melt. Essentially,
she looks like a bunch of fucking toadstools got stuck to her body permanently.
Yeah. So, Brian, you're saying the girl was hotter before or after she got older?
After.
Yeah. So I
Smart
thought you were
answer.
gonna go, yeah.
Smart answer. In his defense, he did say he didn't think this girl was attractive. He's just
not
like,
my type.
It's great. Brian has actually never said a girl has been attractive once besides you.
Thank you.
So sweet.
Yeah, it's true. It's on record. If you listen to any episode of the podcast,
you know.
He doesn't think I listen. I listen. Fucking GPS trying to find the Chipotle in the mall, throwing that at me.
One Chipotle in the mall.
I literally was driving, and he's like, something called a global positioning system. And Ann is like, does she listen to this? He's like, nah. And I'm fucking listening to it on the car, and I hear it, and I crank that volume up.
I need to hear every detail of what Brian said.
And then I call him. I was like, global positioning system, huh?
I would never hurt you.
Jack, he's gonna run out of the room when he sees it. Oh, the woman also was just laughing at him in the tub now.
It's a creepy scene.
Very.
A lot of people think this is the scariest scene of the movie. It's not my scariest scene, though.
Is
It's
your
also
scary scene still
creepy.
coming up?
Yeah.
It's also creepy because as this is happening, I could only say that Danny's having like a seizure.
Yes.
Like as he's watching this, he's like shaking and like drool's coming out of his mouth.
That's like convulsing.
That's when
Yeah.
Danny goes away for a bit, and now Tony is taking over for a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
Because I think this is when Danny starts pushing this scene into Dick's head, right?
Yeah.
Dick's head. It's just he's just seeing everything that Danny's seeing, and
Yes.
that's why Dick Halloran knows. He's like, oh God, I got to stop watching my Miami porn and go back to the hotel.
Go back with the Overlook Hotel.
You know, this scene happened, right after the old lady. And when they zoom in on his feet, I really, truly thought it was the old lady's feet. Like that we were going to see her like chilling in her just room.
Her house.
Yeah. The feet scene was not necessary. The gross ass feet.
Sometimes you just got to throw feet on it.
I
Quentin
guess so.
Tarantino approved.
Yeah, he
I
loves
guess
feet.
so.
People
Anyway.
love feet. It's weird.
I'm not
Do you
gonna
like,
knock
do you
what
like
people
my
are into.
feet?
You're ruining Brian's day.
Day over. Shove their feet.
He never rubs my feet.
Yeah, his feet are gross.
Thank
Just
you.
anyone's
I
feet
have-
in general are gross.
I have cute feet.
I don't think anyone in the history of mankind has had a cute foot.
Yeah.
I do. I'm going to take that's it.
We're gonna take them off.
I won't.
Yeah, we're on. I mean, granted, that might be our biggest
I was gonna
viewership
say,
ever.
My Venmo is.
Anyway, let's talk about Red Rum.
Yeah. Red rum.
Red Rum.
That was actually good.
Thank you. When he starts shouting
It
it,
drives me crazy.
Oh yeah. Because his voice just starts to change. It's just like
this kid's a decent actor. At least with the voices
Yeah,
he
yeah,
could
yeah.
do and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
His face too. He does a really good like.
he does.
They needed a good kid actor for this because this is a role where like he really is the protagonist.
Do you think this fucked him up as an adult?
No, because I didn't hear any. Like, I actively heard stories about Shelley Duvall. I didn't hear anything about him, so
Okay.
I'm sure he made it. Yeah. So he's just like yelling Red Rum. This is the first time he yells Red Rum, so he's not like doing the writing yet. Now, Jack is gonna go to the bar for the second time. Gets a little hair of the dog that bit him.
Yep.
This is the scene now. I guess we could get ready to talk about. He's walking through the party, gets some drinks spilled on him by the waiter. And they go into the bathroom.
Jeevy
together.
boy.
Jeevesy boy.
Ask Jeeves.
Yeah, I love that. I actually love that. He just calls him Jeeves.
Jeeves.
Until he learns his name is Grady. He's like, Grady?
It's like Delbert Grady.
I know a Grady. You hacked up your family and cut them into little pieces and scattered them all over the hotel. He's like, sir, I don't know what you're talking about.
Nice accent.
I was gonna say he had that accent.
No. He just didn't really talk. He acted oblivious, and then they keep talking, and he basically gets him to admit that essentially it was not him.
He corrected them.
He was what he said. He said he corrected them, and he's like, I don't think it's now, but I think that the future conversation to have where he's like, you don't have the stomach for this.
No, that was when he was locked in.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's not now, but
I actually think I understand a little more now why it's now he has to kill his family. Because Grady actually in this scene says like his one daughter was going to burn the hotel down, and he stopped them by correcting them.
yeah,
Oh.
And this scene is literally when he says, "Your
chef.
son is trying to."
contact
Yo, I honestly forgot that happened in this movie.
I
It
was just-
actually took me aback.
I was legitimately just about to just
Don't you
quote
dare.
the line. I'm not going to.
It like shocked me just because I didn't remember
He
it.
said
And
it
when
too.
Jack Nicholson repeated it back to him, I'm like,
I'm like, how come this isn't like taken away type of thing at this
Oh
point.
no, I've heard that dropped sparingly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Only older time.
no.
No, even
you know what it
nowadays.
was? I just think in this movie, I didn't like remember.
Yeah.
Like, because like if you're watching there's certain movies like obviously like watch Django Unchained just from 2010.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio says it nonstop, but like
Yeah.
But like the thing is, like it's also of the time because like this guy was like from like a different time period.
yeah,
where-
well, yeah, Grady was like
not saying it's
acceptable then, but
It's
like
not.
it was more like people said it a lot more
But
openly like that.
So our theory is that Delbert, who is the
Butler.
Waiter.
butler guy, is a reincarnation of Charles Grady. Charles Grady
Is the caretaker? Yeah.
is the caretaker. Before him, he was the killer.
Yes. So that's what I always took it at is like the hotel essentially absorbed the people who died there and made them into like almost like a part of the hotel,
Yes.
like which is why at the end of the movie.
You see him in the pic.
Yes.
Well, so that drove us crazy, and then we looked it up, and it said that the hotel is basically reincarnating people. So, like, that's why the original, what was his name? Charles Grady was the killer, and then he was reincarnated into Delbert Grady, and then the original killer was, or the original caretaker was whatever we want to say. I think it's
Johnny.
I think it's
I
Johnny.
think it's Johnny, too.
I think it's Johnny because that's
'Cause
why
he says here's John.
Johnny, but they call him Jack. So I think the original guy was Johnny, and then it reincarnated him, which is where going back to what we were saying that I think Jack was always kind of evil, even going into the hotel, and it just really
It's
just,
almost like his future was always going to be a
Supposed to be
calling
there.
to go
Always
to the hotel.
and I think that's why they look like each other because
Yep.
you know the photo of 1921 looked like him,
and then that's why
Charles and Delbert.
Delbert Grady said, "You've always been the caretaker.
You've always been the
So it's
caretaker.
almost like a mind fuck where it's like he was the original one, and now he's here to do it again.
Interesting.
it's like cyclical.
From this moment on, it's over. Like it's all gonna go crazy.
I have a new segment.
Jack is gonna take the stuff out of the radio.
Who do you know
Okay.
could beat Jack Torrance in a game of wall ball?
Oh, the woman in room 327. She throws the ball very well.
But did you see how good he was playing?
Well, yeah.
He was doing nothing else.
I know.
He's not a dull boy.
I don't think anybody could take him out. That's what I'm saying.
I was a pretty good wall ball player in my day.
You think
though.
you could take him out?
I think I could beat Jack in wall ball. I used to play all the time in elementary school.
Okay.
Were you not playing wall ball?
I loved wall ball.
I just don't know how that air in the Overlook hits when that. What are you doing?
White hair. Right there.
Is this necessary?
Carry on.
He's graying. He's old.
Yeah, I know.
I am old.
I get gray hair in my beard now every time I grow it.
I got it.
There you go.
See?
It's very white hair actually.
You're welcome.
I mean, but it would have made me look more distinguished if you left it in.
It's true. It's true. You just got younger though.
There you go.
So, wall ball talk aside, Wendy's going to go into the room and she's going to see Jack's manuscript, right? It's called a manuscript
Memoir.
book. Are you okay?
That's my name.
Ah,
Sorry.
it's okay. And in just different fonts and sizes and block paragraphs, the big
Yep,
paragraphs, it
yep.
just keeps saying, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. She's holding a bat, by the way, while she's reading this.
Hanging indented paragraphs.
Yeah.
The whole bit.
And Jack's going to show up and she's like, hi, Wendy, you like my work? He does tilt his head a lot
He's
like
Mickey
during these
Mouse?
scenes. Well, because he does laugh. He's like,
I know.
he has like this like fucking greaser laugh. Like I feel like it's very Weasley at times.
He's got good tongue work. Good
Yeah.
tongue, teeth, and laugh work. He's got a good throat.
Wendy, light of my life, give me the fucking bat.
So funny.
He's like, I'm not gonna hurt you. Like you said,
He gets
I'm
like
just,
really creepy.
Yeah, he's
he
like-
starts like.
I'm just gonna bash your fucking brains in.
And she's just like,
I don't. You know us. We hate to just stereotype between men and girls, but that is the most womanly swing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was. It was a weak
It was
swing.
very limp wristedly.
Yeah.
Where, like,
don't I know about
I-
those wrists?
okay, so he has a new obsession with my wrists.
I like a wrist.
Okay.
It's strange. It came out of nowhere, And
What is the obsession? Is it that they're smaller?
They're so small, Shane.
That you could wrap like 2 fingers around it?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's a little frightening. I don't know if it's cute or frightening.
What? Your wrist or my infatuation with your wrist?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Well, I don't have an infatuation for your feet, so.
What's
You
a
shoved
wrist
in my face.
rubbed?
Sorry.
Wrist massage might, if you're like a writer, carpal tunnel, work that out.
Feet are gross. You
let's
step on the
try it.
floor with them.
Rub my wrist.
Rub your wrist.
Yeah, like what's there's got to be a wrist massage, right? People get carpal tunnel. That's in the wrist.
Oh, that's actually kind of nice.
Okay.
Okay.
You've trapped yourself.
She just likes getting rubbed in general. Gets rubbed
Well,
out.
who doesn't like getting a nice rub down?
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I just get tired of doing them.
And that's
no,
fair.
No. This is his rub. Ready?
But I get tired of more than that.
I swear to God, that's not. I'm not even being dramatic.
I'm
That's not
busy.
even a rub. This is a light pet.
The touch? Yeah, I'm tired after that. It's enough.
You're exhausted, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
Enough is enough.
You know what's exhausting? The pole, the bat swinging. That looks
Oh,
exhausting.
yeah. She's just going back and forth nonstop. Eventually, she connects though with his head.
Yeah.
Rolls down the stairs, takes a
Cracks him.
tumble,
He falls back pretty far, actually.
and she's gonna drag him and lock him in the pantry.
Yeah.
Smart move.
And she's gonna get Danny, and try to escape. But Danny's way too busy writing red rum and lipstick on the door.
But remember, he tells her, "Go check out the snow cat."
Yeah, the snow cat's been sabotaged. The radio has been sabotaged. And during that is when Danny's writing red rum on the door.
Fucking 8-year-old kid grabbing lipstick. I'm like, how 2023 of this
I
movie.
really thought he was going to take the knife and like make himself bleed, and
That's
then
what it
right.
looked. Well, because he literally does touch
Yeah.
the knife, and I thought the same thing at first.
But he couldn't cut Tony.
No, so that's a good point. Tony would have bled out.
Can do it.
So he uses the lipstick.
Yeah.
Jack is gonna be let out of the pantry though really fast just by Grady. He's just like, dude,
Yep.
you're literally like you're slacking. Take this axe.
Do you have this in you?
Can you just murder these two? Like they're not that difficult. Your boy talks to his finger. It shouldn't be that hard to kill him.
Yeah. So Ghost lets him out.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He's like, "Promise me you'll do this," and yep.
Yeah,
and
they do
that's
it. Danny and Wendy are in the bedroom as Jack is just going to start taking an axe to the door. Meanwhile, I guess we should mention Dick Halloran has just been venturing to this hotel. He's flown from Miami to
he's taking
Colorado.
all the flights.
He's in the Snowcat. I think the guy's name is Dorkins or something. He gets the Snowcat from.
Yeah.
Or something like Durkin.
The amount, and he does all this to get to the hotel
Mm-hmm.
just to give himself up for the slaughter.
Yeah, it's going to happen very soon because so Jack is going to get through the bedroom door, but they're going to lock themselves in the bathroom. There's going to be a window that Danny is able to get out of and slide down the perfectly positioned snow slide.
Looked like so much fun.
It did.
Yeah,
I would probably do that for fun.
Yeah.
Wendy can't fit through the window.
She gets stuck.
She does. And Jack is just chopping down, drops the "Here's Johnny."
Yep, which I still don't know why that's such a popular quote, but
So I was asking fellow old people about it, aka my mom. And she's like, she thought it was a reference to Johnny Carson because they used to open up the show with "Here's Johnny."
Oh, that could be. It could be.
interesting. Well, that would throw our theory out of the way.
Well, no, they have.
Well,
to,
it's not guaranteed that's what it is. This is
know.
what my mom thought.
Well, I mean, it could still be like, because like he has to be a reincarnation of somebody.
I really think our theory's right, but I also think that's might have where they could have gotten it from
Okay,
too.
Sure.
So just because she said just the way he says it and like the fact that it's like right on his like face,
Yeah.
she thought maybe. But yeah, it is. That's just what her interpretation was of it. He gives up though on this the second he hears Dick in the hallway.
I know.
Well, she does cut his hand.
Yeah, but he doesn't leave from that.
No.
He doesn't leave until like
He just hears he hears the snow plow thing outside.
yes. That's why he
The
goes.
Snowcat.
Snowcat 2.0.
This is just so sad. This man has been hyped up. He has flown 5 hours. The candle is unlit. He gets into the hotel, calls out about 3 times. He actually sees Jack coming and swinging. And he doesn't even like put his hands up to try to like stop it.
It's wrecked. He actually hits him right in the heart.
He does.
Wrecks him.
Yeah.
It's cooked.
I don't know, Shane, you know. Sometimes you're cooked.
I just would have had a better plan.
Some people
He didn't
shine.
have any plan.
Some people don't.
You think his shining would have like alerted him?
That's what I'm saying. Or like
it.
Danny would have just said
And he had
something.
so much time to shine. He could have shown over like 3,000 miles of shine time.
Yeah. He didn't
Like,
shine
Danny,
enough.
where is your father?
Danny. He let him down. Danny could have shined into his head that he had an axe, but he didn't do that either. Danny's too busy running through a hedge maze.
Yeah.
We're about to get to the hedge maze. He actually hides behind a car first, waiting for his mom.
Wait, I have a weird question. So, unless I'm thinking of the timeline wrong. So, she slides him down the thing and says,
Correct.
run and hide.
Yes, he goes behind the car.
But where was the part where he's then in the kitchen? Do you remember that? And Jack's still chasing him? He's in the kitchen.
Oh, he goes back inside first
Yeah, why?
to look for his mom.
Oh. That's why, right?
That's
'Cause
right.
He's in the
You're
kitchen.
right. You're right. He does
and
go
then
back
he's
inside
hiding
first.
in the thing. And then as soon as he hears his father, he gets out of his hiding spot and then
He
runs.
You're right. He went back in for his mom, or he ran back in for
Maybe for
Dick.
Dick. Maybe this whole time.
because he sees him dead almost as soon as he gets into the.
So maybe
He feels him dead.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
he
that's
dies,
right.
He
He
gives out,
screams.
he feels that.
That's right. That's right.
anywho, I just got confused.
No,
I was like,
you
yeah.
were right. That was a good call because he does go back inside. Because Wendy's gonna leave through the door now, and that's when she just sees a bear giving a blowjob to a man.
Scariest scene.
It's just. Is there context to that in the book?
Yeah, so we also looked that up, and that was apparently it was like a party going on, and that's why that guy was dressed up like a dog. And the other guy was in a suit. It was like a costumey fun party.
I also thought it was a bear at first.
It's a dog.
Apparently, it's a dog. Well, according to the
Okay,
internet,
it looked like a bear.
it does.
That guy also had a butt flap, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Scene's terrifying.
Yeah.
I always thought it was scary. Every time when Shelley Duvall's walking up there to see that.
It's so out of. It's because it's
Because
so
she
out
walks
of
like
nowhere.
daily with a knife for like about 20 minutes of this movie.
There are running. If you ever watched, are you a Friends fan?
No.
Oh God! Remember Phoebe when she runs in the park?
Yeah.
and she's like running like crazy. that reminds me of her run.
Yeah, sort of like with a knife.
I'm like probably the only person who just I don't like Friends.
There's a couple people. Yeah, but yeah.
I don't understand it, but it's fine.
Wait, Friends or
No,
me not
I don't,
liking
I
it?
don't understand your dislike.
Oh, it's the laugh track.
What did I tell you? People with the laugh tracks, they don't like laugh tracks. They say
mean,
they
it's
don't like
fair.
to be
It's-
told when to laugh.
It's too overbearing.
You know where laugh tracks came from, though.
Live studio audience.
That's right. So people were laughing at that.
Well,
point
I mean,
in
they're
time.
told to laugh too.
No, not
Yeah.
all the time. Well, in some
There's
of those.
literally giant people that
Yeah.
say laugh.
Yeah, but
it-
older times, yes.
My problem with it is I feel like it takes away from the actual comedy aspect because the laugh track is too overbearing.
I guess.
This is personal opinion
Personal
on it.
opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's also like that's true. There's also an argument for no laugh tracks because sometimes punches just go over people's heads and you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Wait, wait, was that supposed to be?
was that a joke?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can see it both ways for sure.
Fair. Kind of.
Oh my god. All right, so let's get back into this, and this way I don't get crucified for not liking Friends. Danny is running away from him through the hotel. Wendy is just like actually just seeing skeletons now in chairs.
Seeing ghosts out there.
Yeah, it's ghoulies,
Fucking
ghosts.
Sam Darnold, Shelley.
Oh my god.
Shelley Duvall. Sam Darnold, SD.
Are you saying they look the same, or are they
You're
just?
seeing ghosts.
Oh, okay. Yep. Sam Darnold ruined his whole career almost.
And guess who? Scooby-Doo, SD, sees ghosts.
So if your initials are SD, you see ghosts.
Shelley Duncan.
He saw ghosts. That's why he doesn't play baseball anymore.
Exactly.
Wait, really?
No, I made that last part up. But me and Brian never lie on this podcast.
We've never lied.
Not once. We've never told a lie. The Warrens were completely legit.
You're saying this through a
They never
smile
lied at
like
all.
Jack.
Yeah.
And that's just like...
Yeah. His eyebrow. Oh, God. It's all wild. All wild.
So at this point, I feel like the hotel is combusting.
Yes, it is. Because Shelley also sees the blood elevator.
Yep.
Great scene.
Um,
Incredibly shot scene. It's
Danny
beautiful.
does now run outside finally. And Jack follows him. And Jack has a limp. I'm assuming that was from falling down the
That's
stairs.
what I said. Yeah.
Absolutely is.
So Danny does actually a smart thing in the hedge maze where he does the backtrack, cover his prints.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then when Jack goes past him, he follows his footprints back out of the maze.
Yeah, he's just cooked. At that point, he's
he
cooked.
was smart.
Yes.
And my mom, I don't know if this is true. My mom used to always say that. I don't know if she just like made this up or that she thinks it was assumed in the movie that him and the mom did that maze all the time. So they were like pros at it.
Well,
'cause
they did
had
it
nothing-
once, but I could see
I think
where
it was an
that's...
assumption that they
Yes.
did it a lot just
Yeah.
because they only spent time together.
Yeah.
And that's why he just knew how to do it.
Yeah.
It's very fair. It is a good way to show, though, her and him doing the maze earlier, so it makes sense that he would understand some of the maze at least, because he doesn't go like too far.
No.
And a lot of it, he just has to backtrack through his own feet print anyway. So.
Smart kid.
I love the way this last scene is shot, though. It's so good. Well, not this last scene, but this scene.
Which, like, go into it.
Where like he's like lost in the maze, and he's like trudging along. He's at this point, Danny's out of the maze, and then like he just kind of like is getting ready to sit down, and then the scene just flashed to him fucking frozen with the music.
So eerie. His look, his face, his eyes are still open.
Yeah,
imagine your eyeballs freezing.
He does like his eyes are up here.
Yeah,
and his expression is just like
he's also like, you can see him just completely deteriorating. He's not even saying words at that point.
No,
he's just like, oh, he's like fucking Nicolas Cage in Vampire's Kiss. He's just like, oh.
He must have took inspiration from that.
Yeah.
His face though is so eerie, like when he's just sitting there frozen. Oof.
So he's dead.
He's cooked. He's cooked.
He's the opposite of cooked.
He's frozen. He was frozen today.
Solid.
Yeah. That's when we're gonna cut back into the hotel, and it zooms into the photo, the 1927 ball or 1921, and Jack just there in the forefront. It's a big party.
Probably him, Lloyd, the boys.
Yep. So that's where it comes down to your reincarnation theory that he was at the party, and that he is just a reincarnation of that guy, and he was always meant to be back, or the other theory is that once you caretake the hotel and die there, you are just put into like the cast of characters of the hotel, and that's why he's now in the photo. He's now just been he's like absorbed into the lore of the hotel.
I used to think that theory too, until we read that one last night.
Well, I believe Stanley Kubrick is the reincarnation. Like his idea was the reincarnation.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Got it.
The director's actual interpretation himself was reincarnation.
Oh, okay. I know he obviously changed the ending.
Yes.
Well, he has to.
Well, I'm sure Stephen King didn't write a good one.
That's exactly what Brian said.
Well, I just don't like him, but that's just like his thing.
In the book, doesn't the boiler blow up?
Yeah, it's just something weird.
And it leads to apparently a more of the Doctor, what is it called? Doctor
Sleep?
Doctor Sleep. I think the book gives a better
segue
into it. And remember we read that Stephen King was not thrilled with how much he changed it?
Yeah, we were mentioning that earlier.
I heard Dr. Sleep's really good, though. I never saw
Never seen it either.
Stephen King was like, my God, you made one of the best horror movies ever made.
I hate it.
Oh my God, it's horrible. I don't know, honestly, is there a more successful Stephen King?
Yes.
Maybe Shawshank?
Shawshank Redemption. Or Green Mile.
Yeah.
I think Shining's a bigger movie.
Yeah.
Shining's like very high.
Shawshank might be the biggest.
Yeah, probably.
Green Mile's up there, though. A lot of people love Green Mile.
No, I agree. True.
It's not better than Shining. It's bigger than Shining.
But Shawshank Redemption is actually not a book. It's a short story.
Really?
It's a short. It's not a book.
Interesting.
Short story. So I don't know.
I'm trying to think what else he's done.
I've never read a Stephen King book, so I want to start with The Shining.
It is iconic, but it's not as big as Shining.
Yeah.
I read a couple.
I know you don't like them.
I just wasn't thrilled. I read Tommyknockers. I read, what else did I read?
It, right?
I read half of it. That one was solid. I should have finished it, but it just gets weird. I don't know.
Is it the child orgy that gets you?
It's a little weird, yeah. Like one after another. I was like, what is this?
It's
different. This is
strange. It didn't need to be in a book.
The Gunslinger. Sorry, that's the first book of the Dark Tower. The Dark Tower books.
Dark Tower. That movie was terrible, right?
Yeah.
Was Idris Elba in that too?
And Matthew McConaughey.
Real shame. That's The Shining.
That's
That's The Shining.
Okay, so obviously I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10.
10?
Yeah.
Nice.
Literally, this movie is incredible.
Yeah.
It's up there as one of the best horror movies ever made, despite what Stephen King says.
Yes.
It's what really helps me with this movie's 2.5 hours, and it just flies by.
Yeah.
You don't feel any of the 2.5 hours. Like we said, the sound, the noise, just like it's silent but loud at the same time because there's nothing in the background, but you always hear all the noises going on in the hotel. All the acting's really good, especially from Jack Nicholson of just being a crazy son of a bitch. And I like the ending that it does leave it up to interpretation what exactly happened. I think this is now the 4th movie I've given a 10 to. It's either the 4th or the 5th.
Out of all of the ones
Yeah,
you've
maybe
ever
the
done?
5th because you gave
Wow.
you gave Saw.
It might be
10 too.
5th because I did Saw, Hereditary, Midsummer, and The Thing. I think were my other 10. So this is probably my 5th 10 I've given out.
Wow.
I've given out 4,
So what are you giving this one?
a 9.
Ooh, I'm actually shocked, Bri.
I know.
I'm shocked.
What
I
made
know,
you give
so-
it just a 9?
Oh wait, hold on a second. I was just thinking about something. No, I'm gonna go 10.
There we go.
You know what I
There
was
we go.
thinking? This is what I was thinking. I'm like, I gave The Thing a 9. I'm like, no, I didn't. I gave The Thing a 10 because I do like The Thing more than this.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. This movie's as good as it gets, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 10. It's a perfect horror movie.
I know like 10s are have to I just feel like if we're reserving it for very slim movies, we've now reviewed what like 144 movies. I think it was time we gave out another 10.
No, because I was basing it off. To be honest with you, I was basing it off my list of The Thing, but I realized I forgot The Thing. I actually gave a 10. So yeah, The Shining's a 10 for me. Yeah, it's like perfect. It's perfectly acted, and I love the way it flows. There are some gaps of knowledge that is left out, and I'm almost 1,000,000% positive it's left out intentionally, and it works, and it makes you think. And there's so much happening off screen that you want to think about. It's subtle. It's wonderful. The blood, like those blood shots, are perfect. I'm not even talking about like the blood pool. I'm talking about like the blood on the dead girls in the hallway.
Everything. It's so
and
well
the
done.
Scary, like the scariest scene. It's still this will always be in my head because I don't know what the fuck it was, but it's terrifying. Yeah, I love it. So it's definitely a 10 for me.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to give it a 10. But
There we go.
You guys took all my points away.
Yeah, that's what we normally do.
Yeah, I actually, one of the creepiest scenes for me is when Wendy sees his novel and that's all that's being written because it's literally I think that's what shows he's been going crazy this whole time.
Yeah.
Like from the beginning.
That he's never wrote it there for a different thing.
Like when he flipped out on her, like the audacity of him to flip out on her when all he was writing was the same sentence over and over. But that to me, I think just really got to me when I first saw it. But yeah, I can't add anything else. You guys hit all the points. So
Would that book be a New York Times bestseller?
is it?
I mean, we would.
That book.
I have seen wild books become New York Times bestsellers.
So I'm saying, does this all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy have a shot?
100%.
I think so. I would love to read a book written by someone like that's in an insane asylum or that's
Fascinating.
Yeah, how about
Right.
Mein Kampf?
what?
Mein Kampf?
Is that a book?
It's Hitler's book.
Oh God, I'm not well versed. Your thing went out.
People read that shit all the time too.
Yeah, it's a popular book.
yeah.
But it's just fascinating.
It is because I mean, it's a book actually Hitler wrote. It's like
Just want to get
it's history. It's like a history.
It's like but you want to get like when you watch the serial killer docs.
Yeah.
You want to get into their mind.
You're just super.
Like you
curious
want to
about
read Jeffrey Dahmer's dad's book,
Oh, for sure.
but he was also a really nice guy. Well,
If Jeffrey Dahmer wrote a book, I want to read it. Same thing with what's his name? The other
Tom Brady. No. Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
Tom Brady, Ted Bundy. They're essentially the same guy. I've never lied on this podcast.
Yeah, I just think that would be so fascinating.
It would be. Any book
Anywho.
written by like a killer would be, like just to get into their mind. I agree with that.
Yeah. Anywho.
that's it.
Necronomicon.
Oh, who's the best death?
It's Jack.
Yeah, you think?
Well, I just want to put him in.
Oh, we need another.
I know. Who'd you have in mind?
Here, you can't really put Scatman in there. The guy just walks to his death.
They're technically the only two deaths.
I mean, I guess
Really?
but on screen. Like I guess.
Yeah, well, we can't.
All the ghosts died before.
It's them two.
Wow.
I'm gonna end up. It's gonna be Scatman, isn't it?
Well, honestly, he was like kind of a. It was a very dumb death.
No.
Let's think. Who else died in this movie? No one, right?
He's literally shouting, "Who's there?" when he could just telepathically do that.
In Shane's defense, it has to be Jack because even just the whole getting stuck in that maze was just so perfect.
It absolutely has to be. But do you understand the rules of the game?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we gotta.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Brian, I'll let you decide who's on what side this time.
All right, we'll go Jack as the Yellow King.
Which is this side?
Yep. And then Scatman Crothers.
That
Wait,
side.
wait.
Scatman.
I might not be a pro on this podcast, but I thought if we're all in favor.
Oh, we changed those rules.
Oh, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, we just flip a coin
We
now.
take-
We let the Necronomicon decide.
Yeah,
Okay.
we picked two. One for each side of the coin.
It's Scatman.
I'm a Scatman.
Dick. You were a psychic. You can feel ghostly presence. You could read people's minds. You could transport your mind into someone else's mind, but you didn't have the presence of mind to ask the child if things were going wrong in the hotel. You just walked in and be like, hey, is anyone here?
Your head was in the clouds. It was also probably in a woman's breasts on your wall.
Real shame. You took an axe to the heart. You shouldn't be in here, but the Necronomicon doesn't lie. So for that, we're putting you in the book. Should have been Jack. Is what it is.
I'm a Scatman.
Skibidi-doo-bop-bop-bop.
He saved the day anyway.
He did.
So
With the snow cat.
with the snow cat.
All right. I'm just looking what's coming up next.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I know what's coming up
It's
next.
Fucked Up February next week. Fucked Up February 2. We got all the good ones.
All the good ones. Holy hell.
We're going to hit you with Gummo.
Oh, baby.
We're going to hit you with Dead Girl.
Oh, God.
We're going to hit you with Human Centipede 2 full sequence.
Oh.
We're going to hit you with Cannibal Holocaust.
There it is.
I hope you don't like seeing real animal death because it's in it a lot.
We're going to talk about that. Something's going to go in the Necronomicon. Probably that. Oh, I won't blow it.
That's not, we won't spoil which animal, but one of them. Gummo. That's next. You ever see Gummo?
No, I haven't seen any of those movies that you've mentioned.
You got to watch Gummo with Brian and Damien. Damien's going to be on that episode.
I'm going to end the episode today. I'm going to do something different.
Okay.
I mean, you can end it, but I'm going to end it and you can add on top of it.
Of course.
Because we will see you next week in the spaghetti chocolate bathtub.
I'm with it. Bacon on the walls.
Oh, that's it for this week's episode of The Final Podcast. You can catch us every week, Mondays starting at 6 a.m. and Fridays starting at 6 a.m. for Final Friday. Catch all of our content, www.thefinalpodcast.com. We are out. We'll see you for Fucked Up February.